Figure 5. Stephen's list, Monday afternoon. Today's schedule, things to remember. 9:30 to 10:30 class written books. 10:30 to 11 gift for dad's written mark CD. Scheduled government midterm birthday pay cell phone bill. 11 to 12 class. 12 to 1 lunch or break. 1 to 3 do government reading assignment. 3:30 to 4 choose and throw paper topic. 4 to 5 work with group on econ problem set. 5 to 7 get huge. 7 dinner followed by invitable embarrassment at toga party. Note to self flex a lot at party. The intro work goes fine. Stephen finds the topic that he is happy with and then runs off to meet with his econ group. During the meeting, the group agrees to meet again. Tuesday morning to finish the problem set. Stephen quickly jot down econ group 10 a.m. under things to remember and then heads off to the gym. He is done with work for the day. The aftermath. Because he finished a lot of work during the morning and afternoon before the party, Stephen was able to really relax and have a good time that night. In addition, he successfully recorded all of new to-dos and deadlines that cropped up during the day. Instead of bouncing around in his head and causing stress, they scheduled in due time. Most important, none of this required him to explicitly think about time management beyond the 5 minutes he spent planning that morning and the quick rescheduling he did in the afternoon. As suggested at the beginning of this case study, imagine for a moment what Stephen's day might have been like without the simple time management system. What if instead he did employ the strategy used by most students and simply tried to remember what he needed to get done? It's highly unlikely that the small tasks, running a CD, buying a birthday gift, paying a bill, would have been completed without a schedule. People don't like to do menial chores unless they are 100% necessary. There's also a good chance that he would have forgotten about the anthropy topic altogether after the last minute study group came up. What about the big picture reminders from Sunday? Calling homes, rescheduling internships, creating a guitar practicing schedule. Those would have been pushed out of his head completely by the demands of near future deadlines. Without a system to capture them, we can't expect Stephen to remember long term ideas for any extended period of time. Most important, without the system, Stephen would have completed much less schoolwork on Monday. The day would have focused more or less only on government reading because that was the only big task actually due the next day. Without timetable, Stephen would have had a much healthier understanding of his free time, so he probably wouldn't have started this reading until later in the afternoon. For the most part, students don't like to start any work without a large block of free time ahead of them. Remember, however, that this assignment took a couple of hours to complete, so that means if Stephen had waited until the afternoon to start, he would have finished only this single task by 5, with the econ problem set and anthro paper topic likely falling by the wayside. Instead, Stephen ended up finishing six tasks by 5, leaving plenty of time for exercise and debauchery during the evening. As you can see from the case study, this simple time management system, which requires only a few minutes of planning each day, made Stephen significantly more productive and significantly less stressed. It will do the same for you. In other words, 5 minutes every morning and a sheet of scrap paper in your pocket are enough to transform you from a stressed out student struggling to get things done into an organized, relaxed, finely tuned academic machine. If you remember one lesson from this book, it should be the lesson of this case study. A little organization goes a hell of a long way. Step 2. Declare war on procrastination. In the previous section, we introduced a simple time management system to help you plan your day intelligently. That was the easy part. Anyone can spend 5 minutes to figure out what they should be doing. The real challenge is marshalling the motivation to actually do the work once it's scheduled. Without some control over your schedule, you cannot be a happy and successful student no matter how good your intentions. As you might expect, in conducting interviews for this book, I put a significant focus on the issue of procrastination. Anyone who makes straight as has clearly found a way to consistently get work done when it needs to be done, and I wanted to find out how. As it turns out, however, I was in for a surprise. Every student I interviewed was asked the following question: how do you defeat procrastination? As soon as the first responses were returned, it became clear that something wasn't quite right. I received answers such as, I don't, really, I don't think that you can. These were not the responses that I expected. It didn't make sense. Everything else they told me about how they studied and wrote papers clearly indicated that the scholastic studs were kicking some very serious procrastinatory ass. So why were they all claiming they didn't defeat procrastination? What was going on here? Fortunately, many students went on to qualify this first reaction, and it was in these qualifications that I began to figure out what they really mean. I don't think that you can was how Lee, a straight A student come from Columbia, began his answer, but he soon added, you just have to try to limit it. Ryan, a straight A Dartmouth student, started by claiming, really, I don't defeat procrastination, but then he continued, or at least I don't think I do, although I suppose compared to the majority of students, I'm not as bad as I think. I don't know that I have yet defeated procrastination, was how Christiane, a straight A Harvard student, began before concluding. But I have found ways to make this inevitable tendency less destructive. Over time, these extended responses began to paint a clear picture. When the straight A student answered, I don't defeat procrastination, they really mean to say, I don't defeat the urge to procrastinate, and this makes perfect sense. To put it simply, some work just plain sucks, and you, like the straight A students interviewed for this book, will want to procrastinate on this lucky work. It's unavoidable. Therefore, the goal in this step is not to teach you how to love all work and never feel like procrastinating ever again. Instead, I'm going to describe some targeted strategies to help you sidestep this unavoidable urge when it arises, not destroy it altogether. This is how students prevent procrastination from destabilizing their schedule. They don't rely only on willpower and good intentions, but instead deploy an arsenal of specific tested rules that help them short circuit their natural desire to procrastinate. These students, of course, aren't perfect and they still occasionally put off work for no good reason, but overall, the strategies made them significantly more effective at following a study plan than their peers, and this made all the difference. What follows are 5 anti procrastination battle plans drawn directly from my straight A interviews. These techniques are not theoretical, they are exhaustively used by real students to be down procrastination again and again. Trust them, put them into practice immediately, make them into a habit. The effect will be immediate. You may never fully rid yourself of the urge to procrastinate, and that's okay, but with the right strategies in place, you can rid yourself of the fear that you will always give it to that urge. Procrastination battle plan 1. Keep a work progress journal. This is about the last time that you procrastinated on something important. You can probably recall some of the wishy-washy excuses your mind concocted for delaying the work, something along the lines of, I don't have all the materials here with me. How now, but if I waited until tomorrow, I could get started right away with everything I need. Or it's getting late and my concentration is waning. It would be a waste to start now, so I'll wait to tackle this when I'm fresh in the morning. Why are these excuses necessary? Why don't we simply think this is boring and I'm lazy, so I'm not going to do it, which is much closer to the truth? The answer that your ego is a powerful force. We procrastinate, but we don't want to admit to ourselves that we procrastinate. So we make excuses to ourselves to avoid the truth. A work progress journal is a simple tool that takes advantage of this reality to help you defeat procrastination. It works as follows: buy a cheap spiral notebook and keep it near your calendar. Each morning, when you work out your schedule for the day, quickly jot down in the notebook the date and the most important task that you are scheduled to get done. At the end of the day, if you have completed all of these tasks, simply jot down all completed. If you fail to complete some tasks, record this along with a quick explanation. The system adds only an extra minute to your morning routine and requires only an extra minute each night before you go to sleep. It's simple enough to turn into a habit. What's amazing, however, is the journal's immediate effect. Having to record in ink on paper that you procrastinated over a task for no good reason is a powerful blow to your ego. It might be easy to tell yourself a few weak excuses for putting off a tedious assignment, but when you have to record these same excuses on paper, their foolishness is exposed. You can no longer get away with lame rationalizations. This is especially true if you continue to delay the same task day after day. After seeing all of those excuses pile up in your journal, there will be no escape from reality. You are being lazy, your ego won't like this truth, so it will kickstart your motivation in an effort to avoid it. The journal, in this way, acts like a personal drill sergeant sitting on your shoulder and yelling into your ear, "Soldier, I want you to go get me a pillow because I know I must be dreaming. I thought I just saw you consider not starting your paper this afternoon, and I know you won't try to pull that crap with me standing right next to you. Now go grab your notes and get working before I make you record your laziness in ink where everyone can see." Many students, myself included, don't keep a journal all the time but use it to help them get through unusual busy periods. For example, my work progress journal was a key force in getting me to my senior fall semester, which involved classes, grad school applications, and the writing of my first book. Others have had great success with the journal to keep focus on their LSAD preparation while juggling the demands of regular classwork. Some students go so far as to use the system with a friend, agreeing to review each other's journal once a week. From as Krishni from Harvard suggests, if you have a friend in the same class, check up on each other's progress. And even if you can't find a willing journal partner, there are other ways to use friends to jumpstart your drive. It helps to simply tell your roommates of your goals and have them guilt trip you into working. That's it. Next will be procrastination battle plan to feed the machine. Thank you.